What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Race Traders NRL Supercoach podcast. Hope you're doing absolutely amazing. Now, with the news of the Origin lineup, some bombshell names have been revealed, some surprises, and some questionable decisions from the public. However, all of this has implications on our Supercoach and for the good and for the bad. So not just implications, but some favorable moments where my round 12 and maybe some of your guys' round 12 major buy, the first major buy of the season, has looked a bit better now because of some decisions that we thought maybe these players were definitely in Origin and now they're not. So let's get into it. Now, I haven't got a list here. I'm going to be sort of free flowing this, but if you are watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment. That always helps with the algorithm. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify podcasts, I would really love for a 5-star review. It really does help me out with a brand new podcast. So if you have the time, if you're sitting down listening to this, or if you can just jot it in the back of your mind, being like, you know what, I am going to help him out, I'd really appreciate that. All right, so let's get into it. So the biggest news, I think, Supercoach wise for me, there's most probably two players that really stand out to me. One is James Tedesco getting picked. Now, a lot of people do own James Tedesco. A lot of people thought that would be Dylan Edwards getting picked. So how does this fare? Well, the good news is that we now have an opportunity to get Dylan Edwards if we do like. I should also bring up the draw. That would actually help. Good one, Wolfie. But now that Dylan Edwards wasn't picked, now there still could. The thing is, right, if Blues go out and they lose, there's definitely a chance that Tedesco gets dropped and Edwards comes in. But we can't go off ifs in this. We have to go off what is given to us, the actual facts now. So they have the round 12 by the Panthers, and I like that because that gives us time to then settle in to Dylan Edwards if we wanted to go there. So the good news is that in round 13 and 14, they are versing New Zealand at home. Not to say New Zealand are an easy opponent, but New Zealand at home, then West Tigers away. So we all know, and if you didn't know, Dylan Edwards does actually perform better Supercoach-wise without Nathan Cleary in the team. Now, I think he is still a great shout if you do want to go there. He could be something that does possibly backfire a bit on you. The reason I say that is you're basically praying for New South Wales to win, because if New South Wales win, Tedesco is not getting dropped, and that means in round 15 they have the bye again, but then they come into Gold Coast away, North Queensland away, and Souths at home. Now, the one thing that's tough about the Panthers is that they have the round 12 bye, the round 15 bye, and a round 19 bye. However, there could be a plausible sort of a play where you wait until round 16. If New South Wales win, then he still won't get picked, and you pick him up for Gold Coast, North Queensland, Souths, or you just go for a tiny bit of a risk. I wouldn't say it's a massive risk, and get him in round 13 for New Zealand West Tigers away. It'd be really annoying if they did the swap and change, and then in round sort of 15, 16, you got to get Tedesco back. But even then, Tedesco would be versing the Sharks at their home, Broncos away into a bye. So if you did need to get Tedesco back, it would be around that round 19 mark when they verse Parramatta, Melbourne, Newcastle, and North Queensland. So it's not too bad if you're wanting to look for a Dylan Edwards play. Now, on top of that, I think the other big bombshell for us is if you are a Jackson Ford owner, this is absolutely massive that he didn't get picked. Still very questionable, but absolutely massive. Now, for audio listeners, I currently have, and I can't believe I'm saying this out loud, 14 players already without trades ready to go for round 12. And I'll read those out to you just quickly. I've got Jackson Ford, Oliver Pascoe, who I brought in this week, Cooper Bye, who didn't get named, which I'm very happy about because he's going to, enter into some more minutes with Tino. being out of the team. They did lose Jojo Fafita as well, but still, Tino being out of the team should give Cooper by a bit more minutes. Lasardi, Atavali Lasardi. Helam Lukey also, who didn't get picked for owners there. You're very, very happy about that. I thought he was pretty much like a 50-50. I've got Tallis Duncan, Couchman, then obviously Purdue again, someone else who didn't get picked in Origin. I thought, because of Purdue's flexibility, he could be a center, he could be a 5'8", he could be a fullback if things get really rough. He could even be on the wing. I thought he was like a shoo-in for the Queensland team as like just a backup utility. That didn't go as I planned, and I'm very happy about that. Then I have Herbie Farnworth, Tom Chester, who was also a possible sneaky shout for the Queensland team. He doesn't get chosen, and I've held on to Setatu and Jaden Sewer. Now, I do suspect that Jaden Sewer might get dropped this week, so it'll leave me with 13. But and then I have Suafar Alogo and Scotty Drinkwater in. So Tedesco will go to the side for now. Whether he brings, and I'll tell you exactly what my plan is. But yeah, I'm very happy with that. Obviously, the big trade outs for me this week would be a Paddy Carrigan, who is an Origin staple, even though he's on the interchange. Broncos have a bit of a tough draw with a couple of buys. So if we look at the Broncos, they have a round 12 bye, they have a round 16 bye, and a round 19 bye. Accompany that with the round 15 major bye and the round 18 that Paddy Carrigan will be in. He is a straight swap out for me, and he's just been tinkering on 67, 60, 68 scores, 70 scores. He did get a sin bin this game, but still, he's made a bit of cash for me. He's made 60 grand for a staple in the FRF 2RF. I'm very happy with that pick from the start of the season. We'll talk about some other things as well in regards to maybe the team's Supercoach wise. I think Selwyn, Cobbo, and Hammer being in the team, this is going to... I don't know how this is going to fare for Herbie, but I'm very, very like Bostock edge and Asako edge, I think is going to get a lot of ball. I think it's going to be going right a lot because of this. I wonder how much this is going to impact Herbie Farnworth. But again, I think if you're a Bostock owner, he's someone who I'm looking to get in over this period. I think you're very happy about that because Selwyn Cobbo was not a guaranteed in for the Maroons, but hit some form in the last 2 or 3 games, and now he warrants that. Now, Sam Walker also getting picked. I wonder how much that's going to affect... well, not affect, I think, like with Robert Toya being out and Sam Walker being out, this Roosters team does take a bit of a hit, and Tedesco. So if we look at the Roosters now, who do the Roosters have? Because they just took a massive hit in terms of their team. They have the bye, but then they come up against Melbourne away, Canberra away, Dolphins away. So that's pretty massive in terms of, I think they lose 2 out of those 3 games, if not 3 out of those 3. I mean, no Sam Walker, no Tedesco, no Victor Radley, no Robert Toya. Tupou got injured. Then they have the Sharks and Broncos away in round 16, 17, and then a bye. This is why, and I don't mean to switch topic on this, but I've never been a fan of Origin being in the middle of the season. I've never been a fan of it being even during the season, to be honest with you. I think it should be an end of season thing, because teams that are in okay form, that have really good players, then get massively affected in the regular season by this. And you can just see that in the Roosters. Yes, they did just come off a pretty bad performance and a loss, but now their team literally gets obliterated. I mean, Radley, Tedesco, Toya, they're 3 like huge. Like, I wouldn't say Radley is, but Tedesco, Toya is absolutely massive. Then because of the Dearden injury, you lose Sam Walker, who's literally your playmaker. I assume Hugo Savala will come into that sort of pairing in the middle now, and DC will take the reins. But who's going to be the scorer? Is Asua Wong going to see a bit of a boost here? Is he going to take a bit more runs? I just don't know what's going to happen. So that's going to be super, super interesting on that. My big talking point is I was very surprised Corey Horsburgh didn't get brought up in the Queensland team. Really, really surprised. Him not getting chosen is a big possible in for me. 35 break even, $582,700. I think this Canberra team will go on a bit of a run. Ethan Strange not getting picked in the New South Wales team. How much does that affect them? I don't know. They do come up against the Dolphins in round 12 for memory, and that's at GIO Stadium, but I do think this is going to be like a really tight and good game. Dolphins have hit some form. Canberra off a bye. Obviously no Simi Sasagi, now no Ethan Strange, but I think they'll cope a bit with it. I mean, I don't know who will now go into the 5/8 position. Maybe I'm having a mind blank, but there's going to be a lot of weight on Ethan Strange in this. So that's going to be interesting to see. But again, and also no Hudson Young for them. So I think a big plays are going to look in Supercoach wise is like Corey Horsburgh, Joe Tarpanay, and of course Zach Hosking could be and should be due back this week. He could be an absolute massive play. So a lot of I hope it's like not a Dolphins blowout, because there are some undermanned. It is an undermanned Canberra's team. Sorry. So we really need to focus on that. Again, really happy with my Cooper bye decision now, because yes, he is against Manly at Four Pines Park, but that's a Manly team that lost Cooler. I still think they'll do super well here, Manly, and it will be a bit of a tough game for Gold Coast. But you know, Jaden Campbell doesn't get picked in the Origin team. Fair enough. There was a chance there. The Tino obviously losing. Someone's going to have to step up here. It could be Kurt Morin, but I'm hoping it's Cooper Bice. We'll have to wait and see for that. But Cooper Bice looks really good as soon as he's on the field. Again, if you didn't know, I brought in Greg Marju this week. Very happy with that now that the plus numbers I have in my Origin team. I think Lukey, Purdue, and Drinkwater now coming up against the South team without Latrell, without Cameron Murray, and an injured Alex Johnston. I'm very, very excited for this game now. I'm hoping they can have a really good game here. Having these 4 Cowboys players, I think, is really, really good, and I'm really, really excited to see this game. It could literally be the game that propels me super forward this week, so I'm hoping that's the case. Talking about, like, switching off here a bit, maybe we'll just talk about the New South Wales side and everything else. So just looking through the list, like Finafuiaki, for those that own him, because he's in the 20, I think you can still possibly hold him with the Dolphins draw if you like. Also, Lindsay Collins from the Roosters, right, as well. That's a big loss. So, yeah, that's something you need to sort of plan for. The biggest thing is Reece Walsh is now still in the Broncos team. So that's something a lot of us didn't expect. They have St. George, Gold Coast, and then Souths away. So if you wanted to make a bit of a crazy play, a bit of a pod play, if it does, I mean, you think, oh, yep, St. George are going to verse Broncos in round 13 with possibly Walsh not backing up and Carrigan not backing up. Like, now Walsh is definitely going to be there. So that's going to be an interesting play if you did want to possibly go there instead of a Dylan Edwards. Or maybe you're like, I'm going to go both. I'm going to go Edwards and Walsh and go for this run. So that's something you could possibly look at. Reece Walsh is, he should be quite cheap because he's had some really iffy games. So he's now got 103 break even, priced at $652,400. Whoa. The problem is they've got so many injuries, but against a St. George team, they're going to be really looking to pile some points on here. And I think it'll be a good contest because they're undermanned and St. George have been playing a bit better footy here and there, or especially in their last game against the Panthers. So that's something you want to take in. I'm just going to find, I don't know why I haven't found this, but let's talk about the New South Wales team and what any Supercoach implications here. Apologies if I miss anything as well. Maybe with Isaiah Yeo also obviously being in the Origin team, maybe someone like Papali just gets the nod for the 80 now in the games. That could be really something we want to keep tabs on, even though he plays 80 here and there. Sometimes he doesn't. He could just be full 80 now. Blake Brayley and Reece Robson. So if you have one of these guys and you still have Brandon Smith in your team, I would highly advise trying to get Pasco in. I know you're paying a bit for him now because of his scores, but he's just so good. The Gold Coast, I think they have a bye in round 15, but they do play the round they play round 12, but not 13. Let me just double check on this. So yeah, exactly right. They play round 12 against Manly, but have a bye in round 13. But then you're hoping your hooker backs up then. If they don't, they don't. It is what it is. And then they verse Broncos away, West Tigers away, Penrith at home, Bulldogs at home, into a bye in round 18. Pasco's that type of player, though. He'll just tackle. I mean, in his first game, the 2 weeks ago, he had 62 tackles. The dude is a beast. Obviously, maybe some boosts here for someone like a Ewan Aitken in the South Sydney team. Again, they are pretty undermanned, though. I wouldn't jump to something like that. AFB being in the Origin team, the Sharks are going to lose a major forward for them in something I consider them to be basically like not the best forward team overall. AFB does put them up there a bit, but now that he's out, I'm like, it could be very rough for them. So it's even like your Jesse Colquhoun, he's going to be someone who's a massive hold now. If you do have him, no McInnes with the ankle, he could be back this week, but now no AFB. This is just going to resort to someone like a Jesse Colquhoun, even though he's not a front row forward, just most probably being there and getting like as many minutes as possible. The Eels are now shot with Mitchell Moses being in. It's going to be really tough for them, especially with their draw. It's super tough. They have the bye in round 12. They have Newcastle away in round 13. So if Mitch Moses doesn't back up on this, which could be a definite thing, I think basically like this could be a huge game. Now, if Ponga doesn't back up, I think this is a game where Fletcher Sharp could go absolutely crazy in, and he is someone that is absolutely on my radar for round 13. He was on my radar this week. He had about a 75 break even. I said, you know what? I think he's going to have a good game, but I don't know how he's going to go. Like, I think he could get like close to 100 plus. I wouldn't be surprised with. He got about 90 something for memory. Let's just have a look now. But I was like, okay, settle down, Fletcher. You're ruining me a bit here. But he had a 45 break even with at $473,600, and he got, I'm pretty sure he got about a 95. Let's have a look here just quickly because it is important. So Fletcher Sharp had a 91. So there you go. So I think he's now coming into like someone who I really want because let me just say, if you don't own Purdue, maybe this isn't relevant to you, but if you own Purdue, Cowboys look great up until round 15 where it starts hitting a bit of a bye patch and some tougher games. Now they have the bye in round 15, New Zealand away, then they verse Penrith at home into a bye in round 18, then Manly away, Dolphins away. So I want to be moving Drinkwater at round 15, and I want to be having Fletcher Sharp in my team as soon as possible coming into round 13. That is my plan. So on top of that, yeah, that's an interesting topic to take, I guess, with sort of the Cowboys and Mitchell Moses now, like who they're up against. So that's going to be tough. As I said, Katoni Staggs just makes Broncos even less of an attacking unit. So I'm not really focusing on anyone. I know that Xavier Willison was a massive grab per people. He could be someone that plots away and gets you about a 60, but if they keep leaking points the way they have, it is really going to be tough. Maybe with Brian To'o in the Origin, which is obviously expected, everything will just go towards Jenkins' end, but that's something I can't promise. But Casey McLean also out. Dylan Lucas also being out for the Knights is going to be interesting, but I still think, and also Bradman Best being injured, maybe Marju doesn't get as much ball, and Dominic Young could be a great little pod. So that's something to consider, especially with the Knights draw coming up. And yeah, Hamoli Olakawatu, he's just an absolute beast. So for the Sea Eagles, I did like someone like a Garrick, but now they lose Hamoli Olakawatu and Kula. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they play this. Lehigh Hopewadi could be someone we look at. Unsure when Tommy Turbo's due back as well on the team. Nothing else really to talk about here for the Blues, in my opinion. Jacob Saifidi maybe sees Trey Mooney just be even someone you could, like, if you have him, you're very happy with that because that's a very unexpected pick. But yeah, all in all, that would be my take on the Blues and Queensland team. I'll just make sure I haven't missed out anything on the Queensland team again. But I'm pretty sure I'm pretty happy with my analysis of that. The only thing is Patrick Carrigan could back up considering he is on the interchange, but the buy structure for them, I just want to get rid of him. And they lose Ezra Mam as well. So a lot is going to fall to Reece Walsh and Adam Reynolds. So that's going to be super, super interesting. And they lose Shibasaki. Jeez. Broncos, this is when it gets really tough for them, especially with the scores they've been letting in lately. But yeah, I'm very happy with that analysis. In terms of teams that I'm really focusing on now, a lot of people talking about Toby Couchman for round 12 and onwards. I really like that pick. I'm definitely considering either Toby Couchman or Tarpanay or Corey Horsburgh or Hosking or two of those four. So that's something I'm looking at. Whether I boost this week, I don't know if it's 100% needed. With Tedesco being out, it's a bit of a shock to the system because I really did think it was going to be Edwards, but I'm really happy with how my round 12 is looking. I know a lot of people were looking at possibly Manly with Kula and Olakawatu gone. That could be very interesting to see how Gold Coast perform in this game because that's two big outs for them in my opinion. I still think Manly will come away with the win on this one. New Zealand. Let's talk about someone that I wasn't even considering speaking about, but I think we might see a lot of people look at very soon. $235,600. He's a 5'8". Now, there is a chance now. Tanner Boyd, massive injury. I'm not sure if they diagnose it as an ACL. I haven't seen the update, but he should be out for a while. Tamari Martin now comes into the team. He could be an absolute shoo-in in your 5'8" or halfback position. This is absolutely massive. So if you still have Pezzett like I do, and I know it could be something that my 5'8" could be Tamari Martin and Fletcher Sharp, because as I said in round 15, I want to get rid of Purdue and I want to start flicking that on. So that could be a play. Now, if we look at I'm pretty sure this is TMM's first game this year. Let me just make sure. Tamari Martin. Because if it is, you do have one more week to assess. How do you spell his last name? That would be great. Is the Mare a his middle name, or is it like a where are you? Where are you, Tamare? Interesting. I can't find him for some reason. Am I silly? But yeah, I don't know why he's not coming up here in Supercoach. Maybe I'm typing something wrong, but I typed in both. But yeah, he's a massive, massive watch. Sorry about that. He's a massive, massive watch. And I think basically I had him, I think it was last season. Oh, I found him. Here we go. I had him last season. So it hasn't been updated, which means that was his first game. Okay, so this was his first game. Absolutely huge. Now, you can sit on him. The good thing about it, though, is if you want to go him now, they do play in round 12 against St. George. They play round 13 against Panthers away, but then they have the bye in round 14. So if you're getting him, it's very tough to get him for round 13 when they have the bye in round 14, unless you you want to take the hit of the money and you're like, I'll get him in round 15 against the Sharks at home, North Queensland at home, and then Dolphins away. So that's something you can weigh up there, but that is a massive, massive shout and a massive, massive grab. Unfortunate news for Tanner Boyd because he was having a stellar season. But yeah, the two biggest teams, as we all know, and if you didn't know, you'd be really focusing on Canberra and Dolphins throughout this bye period. And there's also another player I wanted to speak about in another team, but I'm not sure because the team isn't doing well, but that's Terrell May. So obviously doesn't get into the Origin. He had 116 break even. I think he scored about a 80-ish something. Let's have a look. I could be wrong here, but he is absolutely massive, and I'll tell you why. Because they have the round 12 bye, and literally their next bye after that is round 23. So that is huge. Just absolutely massive, to be honest with you, because this guy, you know what he can do. Twal, obviously the injury to Twal, they did say he'd be due back round 13. So we'd need to basically just see if that hampers anything. But them two together, they are copying a bit of heat at the moment in terms of scoring, but he had an 82 last week. You could also look at getting back in Kai Pearce-Paul, but the fact that Kai Pearce-Paul scored and Terrell May didn't, and Terrell May still scored 2 more points than him, pretty sure I'd rather go Terrell May. Obviously, there's a discrepancy in cash. Kai Pearce-Paul's on 640,000. Terrell May is at 824,000. So it's about a 180 difference. So yeah, that's something you would need to focus, sort of weigh up on. Is Tarpanay just the better pick over Terrell May because you get him for round 12 as well? Or do you wait 1 week and then just get Terrell May? That's something a lot of people I think will be debating on. Or do you go both? But now with the Jackson Ford news, I'm just thinking, well, I think I only need 1 more. I may not even need any. Like if you have Jackson Ford and Twal, like if you can get away with this week, you really have Jackson Ford and Twal as your front row forwards, and you're just mix and matching or making some moves in your 2RF. So that's really interesting. Also remember that Souths have a bit of a good buy draw as well, but they are quite depleted at the moment, so I wouldn't go there. I think this is the time where we can really look to attack points and get these players in that are playing consistent footy for good teams. Hopefully I haven't missed out too much here for you guys. I tried to give a nice analysis over the teams and the Supercoach implications and the good news and the bad news. I don't think there's much else that I've missed here. We're going to have team lists obviously come out on Tuesday, which is tomorrow, and see how it all goes. There could be some new names, big names, anything can happen. We know it can all change in a week, but that's my take so far on the Origin implications for Supercoach, who you should be looking at, who you should be aiming. Again, Canberra, Dolphins, South Sydney, West Tigers after round 12, really, really nice. I still like the Warriors. There's some, just go look at the draw and you'll see here, what teams you like and what players you might want to go for as well. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Again, it's Wolfie here from the Rage Traders. Like, subscribe, comment, 5-star review on the podcast. Peace, guys.